Good morning. Happy Monday. Happy President's Day if you're here in the United States. It is Monday, January 15th. Hopefully you all had a lovely Valentine's weekend, if that's your thing. Here in this house, Valentine's Day was celebrated by putting up some new shelves in the basement. And generally having a pretty lazy day. Also, I hope all of you are preparing for the snowpocalypse that is on its way. Between over the next 24 hours, I think at least here in Ohio, although it seems to be a broad amount of this country, is going to get covered in almost a foot of snow. So that's something fun to look forward to. And it made me realize, as I was thinking about this foot of snow that's coming, that the pandemic has taken away snow days. When you don't go anywhere and you don't do anything, the quality of the roads outside don't matter a whole lot because you're still here just working. And so I'll be very curious to see. I know that a lot of my Seattle friends got covered in some snow over the weekend as well. Not a foot, but a few inches. And I know that Seattle just shuts down when they have snow there. And so I'll be very curious to see how many of them are available and able to work and whatever, because that may shut other things down that they weren't counting on being closed, like schools and other stuff. So we'll see how many people are at work today, I guess, is the big thing. Brain's Place. Yeah, there's a few RGBs up in here. We've got the triangle behind me. We've got the LED strips right here again along the wall. Everything changes color. That's kind of the fun of this backdrop is I've seen so many people do a bunch of fun things with green screens. And I wanted to go the other direction. I want it to be as extremely authentic and analog as possible. And so here you go. This is all a real backdrop. Everything behind me is really here. I can pick up any individual figure like Bob Ross here. Boom. There's Bob Ross. But you can interact with this background. I also have my whole Alexa lab here behind me. So yeah, there's no shortage of lighting. And in fact, there's going to be more.
Should I play the song Lead Me to Your Lab?
No.
Single?
Alexa, stop. I'm going to go mute that device right now. Yeah, so that's what's going on. Brains Place says he just 3D printed a Nanoleaf setup. Very cool. The Bob Ross channel on Twitch is doing a marathon this weekend. Very cool. Good morning, Corey Haynes. So Corey Haynes, as I understand it, does not work on Mondays. I love that. I need that in my life. It's also a national holiday today in the United States. It's not observed by most businesses, but it is in fact a national holiday nonetheless. That means like post offices and banks and stock markets and things are closed. And so aside from those two things, Corey is still here hanging out with us this morning. So thank you, Corey. Thank you for swinging by. And Gold Zulu is here. I noticed that we had Karthik. Karthik showed up and brought a few friends with him. So it made me also realize that I have not turned on my chatbot. So for the few of you that are here, Archran's got a holiday there. Well, that's very nice. This is one of those holidays where we give a lot of government employees the day off, but almost nothing else is shut down. Most businesses are open for business. They're not shutting down. Offices aren't closed. It's one of those many bank holidays that we have here. Anyway, that's not the point of today. The point of today, if I can get my chatbot running, is to focus a little bit more on our trivia game. So this trivia game that we've been working on Friday, we were able to add the functionality to allow people to buy stuff. So we have 20 different categories of questions in our game. And if someone wants to get specific sports questions, I want to do some sports stuff, then they need the ability to do that. And we give them that possibility by letting them buy the category. This is our way to potentially monetize some stuff. There's Archran's music. Also, as a fun side note, I just ordered a mixing board, like an audio mixing board. This is going to allow me to take the audio that's coming out of the chatbot and my microphone and even like Alexa when we talk through this. I'll be able to run them all as different inputs with different sliders and different volumes. It's going to be pretty cool. So we should have a much richer auditory experience on this channel, hopefully after Wednesday. I don't know how long it'll take me to perfect it and get everything right, but at least initially, I should have it here Wednesday, and hopefully we'll have it in the system by Thursday. We'll see if that actually happens. Screechrat with a 3-month subscription. My goodness, thank you for the subscription. That is very kind of you. Beauty Bubble Now is here. So glad that you're here. Glad to have caught me live today. Yeah. Good morning, afternoon, and evening to everyone is right, Screechrat. So welcome, everybody. One of the things that I like to share with anybody that's new here is that you can go into the chat and you can type commands. And there's a whole list of different commands that you can use. These all play sound effects. Looks like my volume's down a little low today, so we'll fix that too. But the sound effects can play at any time that you'd like. All of those do something interesting. Some of them even make stuff appear on the screen. So we'll get into that as we go as well. But I want to get into thinking about how we add a subscription to my skill. That's the thing that I'm going to do today. So let's get right into it. As I jump over to this view, you can see that I'm on my skill here. And if I say, well, let's get the code running. So I have my code project here. We'll dive into the code in just a moment, but I want to start the project. So this is going to spin everything up, get a local debugging session running, and then I should be able to say, open Jeff's trivia game. And what this is going to do for me is start the game and say, welcome.
This is TKO Trivia.
There we go.
If you thought Jeopardy was challenging, you're in for a treat. What should we do next?
Okay, so what should we do next? What I want to do is say, give me a science question. It should try to sell me the science category.
This is a fun science question for you. What substance do your ceruminous glands produce?
All right, your ceruminous glands produce earwax. That is what that creates. So we'll say earwax, and it didn't charge me for that. So my guess is that I already own it. So let's go to sports. I didn't buy all of them, and we can reset these too. But I thought
you don't currently own that category, but you can unlock it. Would you like to know more?
I also don't love that message. You currently don't own that category. There's a 2319. Thank you, Corey. So if we think about that purchase process, right? We come in, we say, are you familiar with that? That's from the movie Monsters, Inc., Corey, if you haven't seen that. But yeah, sometimes you need a 2319. I say, this is the question intent. And in here we say, give me the sports category. And then I have this upsell message, get random speech from category upsell. But at this point, I know the category, right? I know the category name. I do know it. So let's make our category upsell message a little better. We can do that. So if we come here to Airtable, and in our trivia database, in speech, we have this category upsell. You don't currently own that category. This was my generic way of writing this, but I could actually say the sports category. That. You don't currently own the sports category, or you don't currently own the food and drink category, or whatever. And then I can say, oops, it looks like you don't own the, the category name. If we run like that, it appears you haven't unlocked the category name yet. Would you like to purchase it? Okay. So those are changed, but now I need to actually change my code that handles that. So here we have this statement where we have an upsell message. All I need to do is wrap this in parentheses, and then I can say replace. And we're going to replace category name with the name of our category. Cool. All right, let's try that again. And so I can say, give me a sports question or science question, sports, and it should now say, like, you said sport. Like I always try to parrot back to the user what they said so that it's very clear and crisp what they're asking for and that I heard them.
You don't currently own that category, but you can unlock it. Would you like to know more?
Give me a...
Here is a sport.
No.
Synchronized swimming.
Open Jeff's trivia game.
This is TKO Trivia.
Give me a sports question.
It appears you haven't unlocked the sports and games yet.
There we go. Oh,
Would you like to purchase it?
unlock the sports and games category. I have to say category afterward. It appears you haven't unlocked the category name category. Okay, so that looks pretty cool. Let's give that one more run. No, please don't sell me that.
Okay, to choose a specific category, you have to purchase it. You can always ask for a random question. However, what should we do next? You can say, give me a random question, or start today's game.
Give me a sports question. Let's hear this work out right.
You don't currently own the sports and games category.
There we
but
go.
You can unlock it. Would you like to know more?
Nice. No, I don't need to go through that process. So let's go to my issues list, because we have a couple of things in here. So the first thing that I want to do is allow users to say, buy the category. So you'll notice in this process right here, I say, oh, look, you don't have that thing, but you can unlock it. This is considered an upsell. The user wasn't specifically asking to buy something, but I am upselling them because of a specific scenario in which they asked for a category. So when they ask for a category, I will say, hey, you need to buy that in order to do this. But there might be a scenario, and this is very, very common, where someone will realize like, oh, I could buy that category. No, I don't want to do that right now, but thank you. And then they continue to play random questions or whatever. And then they come back a day, 2 days, 5 days later, and they're like, you know what? It was 99 cents. I'm just going to do it. Buy the sports category. And they say that explicitly. Now, they don't want to go through this whole like upsell process. They want to get right to the purchase. And so we're going to give them that capability. So if we look at how we do this now, in our question intent, we have this upsell. But what we don't have is like a buy intent. If we look at our model here, you can see that in here I have question intent, quiz intent, but I don't have anything about specifically buying. So what I'd like to do is create a new intent. And we'll call this the buy category intent. And so we'll say something like buy the category. Buy purchase I want to get the category. Unlock, we use that word a lot. Unlock category. And then we can set this to be category, which is what our 20 categories are. That's great. So this gives us a good starter kit for this, right? We have a few options that are all like purchase, buy, I want, unlock, set category. I want the okay, that's a good start. So we'll save and we'll build that. And that gives us the ability now to place in my cart now. Yeah, I suppose that's a possibility, although there isn't really the concept, at least right here, of a shopping cart. The way that in-skill purchasing works with Alexa, this is just this is information I had to learn as I was getting into this as well. But when I buy something as an in-skill purchase with Alexa, I'm buying one individual thing right now with my voice. There isn't the aggregation concept of add this to my cart and add this to my cart and add this to my cart and then check out. It treats each individual item as its own transaction. And so I can't, one of the other things that I would love to do is buy the sports, politics, and music categories. Like I'd love to be able to do all of those at once. Unfortunately, it doesn't allow that. So I have to basically have the user purchase each individual item separately, which is okay, because I don't expect that they're going to buy a ton of things at the same time. And honestly, if they were going to buy 3 of the categories, then what I would probably recommend to them is that they buy the subscription instead. The subscription is basically the cost of 4 categories, but you get all of them, all 20. And so that's kind of the direction that I'm leaning. So we have our intent. That's all structured. So now we have this new by category intent. We need to create some code to make all this work. So let's come into index. And the first thing that we want to do is have a new one of these. And it's going to be the by category. That's going to be the by category handler. Now, none of this is true, though. What we're going to do is something more like a traditional look like this. And so my can handle is really just, is it the by category intent? If it is the by category intent, then we're going to go help them buy that category. We're going to make it nice and easy for them. But otherwise, it'll go find something else. So let's take our handler and add this to our registry down here at the bottom. Come on, come on, come on. Buy, buy, buy. And then by category handler. Now we need to create this handler that exists here. So for this, it's really rather simple. So I'm gonna build this one from scratch. We'll take this, and we're gonna have a. I don't even think we have any async for this. Yeah, we will. I have to call it and get some speech. That's not what I want, though. I want by category intent. That's what it should be called. And so I screwed this part up. This should be by category intent. Okay. So in our by category intent, async function by category intent. This is going to take handler input probably. And module.exports equals by category intent. Okay, almost there, almost there. Then we need to take this and add it to our index by category intent. And finally, right here. Okay, that can close. By category intent doesn't do anything yet. This is where we're going to have our functionality for upselling, or not upselling them, but selling them something, which means that we're going to want to return something like this. This little module right here is very similar to what we want. And the key will be this upsell message doesn't exist anymore. So we can take this. Maybe I don't even need this to be asynchronous. This is just going to be standard. So I need the product ID. I do need the product ID. And how do I get the product ID? They said, let's see, we're going to have to do some of this. Spoken category, resolved category. This is making me want to redo all this. That's okay. That's what happens when you write code for the second time. So we'll start here. We need spoken category, wrong category, and resolved category. And this is where they ask for a category that doesn't exist. And then if we look at this, we have category name and category ID. I don't know that we'll need these yet, but we'll bring them in. And then this is where we say, if we didn't resolve a category, but wrong category is not undefined, I don't know that we're going to need to do all of this. Maybe we do. Gosh, this feels so unbelievably similar. Like we're doing almost exactly this entire file. I need to simplify. So if we think about question intent, we're going to do a little bit of refactoring here. And the refactoring is going to extract these. I guess I could take almost all of this out. The question intent is supposed to ask a question, and down here we do. That's what this is. But in order to do that, we need to know the category ID. That's really the only thing we're digging for. And to get the category ID, we need to go through all this work because they may or may not have asked for a category that exists, and there's all this other nonsense. So how much do I want to rip out of here? Part of me wants to rip all of it. Let's use this as an example. So at the end of the day, I need to send this thing. This is what matters. And nothing else that I'm doing ultimately matters. What I need is that category product ID. And I'm going to get that by calling out to the monetization service with a specific name, right? So that's where this piece comes in here. I call out to the monetization service client. I get a list of all of my products that are available for sale. I try to find specifically the one that matches the category name the user indicated, which I can only do if they indicated one that I have. And then hi, Jeff, I'm new here. When should we use async? Well, that's a great question, Gialexa. So the times that I use async the times you should use async are when you are making a call out to any kind of service or any kind of process that's going to take realistically any amount of time. The reason for this, and we can look at our simpler example here, is I'm going to, well, this is probably better. So as I come into here, let's talk about async and await. This is a way for me to say, hey, I'm going to make a call out to a service. This is going to take a moment. Sometimes it's 500 milliseconds, but it's an amount of time. And because it's going to take an amount of time to travel across the internet, call an API, bring some data back, even though it's fast, it's still not instant. And so what this allows me to do is to say, hey, this function may have some asynchronous things that happen inside of it. So we need to tag our function that way. And then in here, when we call out to our individual functions, we need to say, hey, I need you to await this statement. And so in this specific instance, I am calling out and doing this line, and I'm waiting for that entire round trip to happen. Once it's happened, though, then I do this line. Because this is tagged as await, I wait for that round trip to happen. This one, though, this doesn't have any tagging. There's no await on this. And because of that, it just happens. We just do it. And then this next line, action query, this is another await statement. So we call back out. We get another round trip. And when that's done, we then do our final statement. Now, the benefits to this is that if I don't tag these as await, we will move to the next line of code before the response has returned. It's going as fast as it possibly can. And I need it to wait for that answer to come back before I can do anything because I'm expecting a value or I'm expecting to do something with it. So this applies not only to the internet, though, calling out to APIs, but it's also for writing a file or doing anything that takes even a blink of an eye. That stuff takes a little bit of time to make it all happen. So that is where async and await I use in JavaScript quite often for calling out to my database or calling other APIs, things like that. But if you're only building stuff locally inside your skill and everything is there, then you may not need async and await very often. If you're hard coding all of your values, or you're doing something simple, you don't need it as much. But hopefully, Gialexa, that helps. All right, so now I need to get back to how do I want to handle this? Because they could still say by the taco category, and I need to be able to redirect them. So it feels like there is an opportunity to take almost all of this, like not the upsell stuff, but up until there, no, see, because things end up breaking. So let's think about what we're really trying to do. when they say, give me a science question, and I say, hey, do you want to buy the science question? They weren't really entering into that verbal contract with the intention to buy. What they were saying was, I want a question. I want a question from a very specific category. And so it makes sense to me that when they're done with their purchase, which was a required step, that they are then presented with a question. That would make sense because that's really what they wanted in the long run. If they actively choose to buy something, like buy the science category, do I instantly give them a question, or do I just say, cool, you made your purchase, nice work, what do you want to do now? Because that'll affect how I refactor this a little bit. Part of me wants to take handler input as it is, because you can see that I'm digging into all three of these values, right? These all come out of handler input. I have a slot called category, I have a slot called wrong, and then I have resolved values for when they match things that I'm expecting from my category list. So if I took all of this and I extracted it and I just said, I passed in handler input and I said, give me the category ID back. What does that really give me? The thing that I'm running into here, the challenge that I have, is that I'm getting different things depending on the case. So if they had a wrong category, then what I'm actually returning is speech, right? So maybe we have to take that piece out and we can just focus on getting all of the speech that we need. If they gave me, if this case, this is when they asked for a random category. So they didn't say something wrong, it's undefined, but they also didn't resolve to a category. Then this means they probably said, give me a random question, and we should just randomly select a category for them. And that's what we're doing here. And then in this last case, this is where they set a category that actually exists, and we just get the value and the name of that category that they said. Maybe I can make this simpler because these values didn't come out of a database. I didn't have to go look these up. These were part of the slot resolution. And they wouldn't say buy a random category. So maybe I'm making this too difficult. So let's think about our cases. We have this first case, this. This is where they said something wrong. And in this case, we could just say, that's not a category. For a full list, you can say, give me a list of categories. Full list of 20. Can't type. Monday typing is always rough. Always rough. Okay. I just noticed your question, Beauty Bubble now. Is by price an option? You know what? I don't actually know, but that's a good thing to look up. Let's see. If I come into my question intent and I go look at this and I have get in scale products, I'm pretty sure that we can look this up by a number of things. What I need to see is what all the I don't know if it actually pulls the record back. Let's go to this. So let's go look on the little internet hunt, because this is a good thing to know, is what is all the data that comes back. Alexa, get monetization service client. Let's see if we can quickly find monetization service client. What comes back? This is the data that comes back for each product. What I don't see in here is the price, and that's by design. So it doesn't seem to me that you can sort these or filter them by the price, because you don't actually receive that as part of the payload. And this is by design. This is not an accident. This isn't like a situation in which you shouldn't get this. The reason that we don't provide the price is because in your skill, you're not supposed to provide the price to the user. there's a number of reasons why, but the core reason, the primary reason, is because Alexa, Amazon, can choose to modify the price for a user. Here's an example. I have a product that is $1, and I want to offer it to the user. So what I do is I know the price of this product, and I say, hey, if you want to buy this product, it's $1. Do you want me to add it to your cart, or do you want to buy it, or whatever? And they say yes. Well, I have to hand this off to the Alexa service client, the monetization service client. And when I hand it off, it's going to say, hey, the price is $1. If you're an Amazon Prime subscriber, it's 20 cents off or 80 cents. And so all of this weird discounting happens. This can affect things for a variety of reasons. Amazon can also choose at times to change that percentage higher, not lower. They would never cut off a discount. But because they can do dynamic discounting and a bunch of other stuff on all of these products, when your skill tells the user the price, it may actually be wrong. It may not actually be the price that the user is seeing. And so again, it would never be more, but it's possible that Amazon could discount things more than you were expecting. So the process that you're supposed to use is that you say, hey, I have this cool thing. You probably want it. Do you want to know more? Or to buy this thing, or you just hand it off to the service client. It'll tell the user exactly what the price is, depending on all of their status inside Amazon, because Prime subscribers obviously get that 20% all the time. So that is why you cannot sort by price. That's my quick little lesson on that. Okay, so back here, we have, if they gave us a wrong category, we're just going to respond and we're going to say like, hey, if you want the whole list, here it is, but that's not a category. Otherwise, the only other real option that we can end up with is they match an existing category, in which case we're going to do something like this. So we'll just say else. And this else is going to get the resolved category name and ID that we want. Now, again, we're not going to be responding to the user. We're taking them right to the purchase process. So I don't even really care about name because we're not using that. But what I do need is this ID. This ID is going to become this. Just like that. And this is where we're going to send off our buy. Not an upsell, but a buy. So I think the only thing that I really need to do in here, I feel better about not having to rework all of this stuff because it is very different now that I see it. So we don't need our category name. Do we? Category name is only assigned when I resolve something, and I don't need that. So category name can go away. And then we can have a very, very brief, let's use like launch request. I just need one of these. And in here, in this little piece is where we're going to have this. And so, hey, Zach, man, welcome. So, developers. So that is the only catch that we need here is that we need a const speak output equals, and this is going to be our await data. I don't have data in here, so I'll have to get it. Let's go grab that over here. Data and helper are always good to have. And in here, now we can say await data.getRandomSpeech. And in here, this is going to be data.speechTypes. And this is a new speech type. So this is going to be Gold Zulu's here. Welcome, Gold Zulu. I do not have the slot machine in the casino running right now. I probably should, but it requires me to walk all the way over to that other computer. So I'm not going to do it right now. But we do need to get back on that train, and I think that's going to be my plan. Once we're done with this trivia game, is to get back in the saddle with the casino skill as well as the casino chatbot, because I miss all of that. Okay. So I need a new speech type, and This speech type is something like what we already have, I think. I wonder if I can use them. Unknown category. Uh-oh, we don't have a specific category for tacos. So unknown category actually seems like we can use it for another purpose, which is great. So let's take unknown category. And we're going to say unknown category. And then we need helper.getLocale. Handler input. Okay, so that's going to get our speak for like, hey, that's not a category, but I'm also going to need a const action query. There's always so much to do. Oh, wait. Get random speech. This one's going to be data.speechtypes.action query. Let's do just happened. Const locale equals that. Okay, so we have both of our statements. We're going to have an action query here. And now this becomes unknown category. And we could use some semicolons, I guess. And then finally, we can say const speech output equals, and this will be unknown category and action query. And we'll join those together and put some spaces in between them so that we're all good. Okay, so that's great. I love that we already have all of that done. So this says, hey, you gave me a category I don't know. And then this says, hey, you gave me a category I do know. And so this piece here I don't even need else. I'm going to eliminate else. We don't need the else. So then if we didn't get booted out for that, so that's my if. This comes there. Then otherwise, then we have a category resolved ID and we can sell this product to the user. So that's my by category intent. This should be it. That's the extent of what we need there. I don't really need spoken category because we're never saying anything to the user if they said something properly. So let's fire this up. Let's try buying the taco category and see what happens. Purchase the taco category.
This is the purchase prompt description. Prime members save 20 cents. Without Prime, your price is $1 plus tax. Would you like to buy it?
What category do you think that I tried to purchase? That's a really good question. Give me the science question, please.
This is the purchase prompt description. Prime members save 20 cents. Without...
Let's back up. This is because I was lazy in creating my ISPs, and now I'm going to pay the price because I don't know which one they are. Okay, start my trivia game.
This is TKO Trivia. If you thought Jeopardy was challenging...
Give me a sports question.
Oops. It looks like you don't own the sports and games category yet. Would you like to unlock it?
No, I would not like to unlock it.
Okay. To choose a specific category, you have to purchase it. You can always ask for a random question. However, what would you like to do now?
Okay, so that works. So now if I say buy the sports category, this should take me right to a buy.
Whoops.
Or it breaks.
One of our programs
Breaking is
broke
fine.
something.
That's a new path.
And have them fix it as soon as possible. In the meantime, would you like to ask for a random question or start a new quiz?
Unable to find a suitable request handler. What are you talking about? What kind of nonsense are you talking about? So we came in here. That's what I sent out. Bad request. Invalid link format. What does that mean? I don't know what that is. Let's see. Alexa. Invalid link format. It would be really cool if you could tell me what's wrong. What if I search in here? Wow. That is not helpful. Okay. Yeah, I don't think I mean, this all looks good to me. So what I don't even know though is are we hitting? I think we are. Let's look at this again. The output that I had was to do a let's see if we can find it here. Response payload. This is a directive of connections.sendRequest of buy. The product ID I want is this. I already see the issue. What am I doing here when I do my upsell? Right. Okay. So I still have to do this piece, which is to get the unique identifier for the product that I'm trying to buy, which is why I need category name. Okay, I'm on board. Resolved category .value.name. Okay, on board. We're doing this. Let category name. That does that, and then this. I actually don't need the ID, so we're going to call the monetization service client, and then we're going to call the get in skill products function on that, and then in here we're going to take category name and we're going to do some things with some regular expressions to basically search for an underscore or search for spaces and replace them with underscores. Then we're going to search our list of records and we come back with category product. And this ends up when I deleted this earlier, I should have seen that it was different, but I didn't. And that's why it's category product 0 product ID, not the thing that I was trying to do. Okay. Maybe it will like this better. Maybe. Okay. Now we're back here and we say buy the sports category.
This is the purchase prompt description.
Okay.
Prime members save 20 cents. Without Prime, your price is $1 plus tax. Would you like to buy it?
So I'm going to say no, I don't want to buy it.
Okay. To choose a specific category, you have to purchase it. You can always ask for a random question. However, what should we do this time?
Buy the coconut category.
I heard you say, buy the coconut category, but I'm not sure what you want me to do. What would you like to do now? You can start today's game or ask for a trivia question.
That's not ideal. That's my answer slot catching their response and saying, I don't know what you're talking about. This would be if you like answer a question, but you weren't in the middle of being asked a question. This is the kind of response that I would expect to give there. All right, I've got a little bit of ISP work to do here. So if we come into our tools in skill products, let's at least fix the sports one. So we can reset the test purchases for science. We can say, let's edit sports and games. And look at our language model for this. This is where I have summary description, and this is the purchase prompt description. This is the thing that we're hearing when we do that. So if I go back to my products, I think maybe science, did I already rewrite that one? I rewrote this for one of them. Nope. Oh, I think it was food and drink. Let's get the food and drink one, because since I already wrote that, I can just use it as the model for the rest. Food and drink. This will unlock all of the food and drink questions in TKO category, TKO trivia. So I need to basically modify these. So we use sports and games, edit this, take all of this, and this is going to be all of the, we're in sports and games, questions in TKO trivia. We're going to have to go back and modify all of these anyway, because we have other descriptions and things that we need. But let's save and save. Great. And we'll do it for science too. Science. And save that. And save the product. Now, it's not clear to me, but the last time that we did this, we ran into some issues where it was like not acknowledging that those changes had been made. So I would expect this to be instant. I don't think that I should need to rebuild my project or anything like that. CrackMac 2, man, I haven't even met CrackMac 1 yet, and here we are with CrackMac 2 joining us here on the stream. Thank you so much for the follow. We're here building kind of a robust trivia game for voice, for Alexa. So thanks for joining us. All right, so I want to say, give me a sports question. No, I don't want to say that. I want to say buy the sports category.
This will unlock all of the sports and games questions in TKO trivia. Prime members save 20 cents. Without Prime, your price is $1 plus tax. Would you like to buy it?
God, that's such a broken message. I really hate this specific speech. So the first sentence is fine, right? That's the one that I just provided. This will unlock all of the sports and games questions in TKO trivia. That's fantastic. And then it says, Prime members save 20 cents. Well, that's great, but I don't even know what the price is yet. So you're taking 20 cents off, but I don't actually know what you're charging me. Then I say, without Prime, your price is $1 plus tax. Do I pay tax if I'm a Prime member? Of course you do, but that's a question that could come up. Another question that pops in here is, when you tell me the 20 cents off, I don't have any basis for how much I'm saving. It seems like we should erase all of this because it knows whether or not I'm a Prime subscriber. It should say, because you're a Prime subscriber, your price is 80 cents plus tax. That's how it should go. Because if I'm a Prime subscriber, it never ever tells me what my actual price is. Anyway, we're getting to that point. This is all part of the engine. So now I can say yes, and it should come back through and say, cool, you now own it.
4-digit code.
44444.
Great. Your order is complete and I've emailed you a receipt.
Awesome.
Thanks for your purchase. Your support makes it possible to continue growing our library of questions. Here's one from the sports and games category.
Okay, I think I love that.
What is the American name for the card game the English call Patience?
Okay, that's Solitaire. And we've got a really good purchase process now for buying that category.
You got that one right. Solitaire was the correct answer. What would you like to do now? You can start today's game or ask for a trivia question.
CrackMac. Oh, don't trust CrackMac 1. That is good advice. Good advice. I will keep that in mind. When I encounter CrackMac 1, man, they've clearly stolen what you've got going on. I almost feel like CrackMac 2 is the original CrackMac, and that he just missed out on something, and CrackMac 1 kind of swooped in. I'll bet they don't even have any videos. Oh, man. Okay, so Beauty Bubble says, Jeff, on the side, the GitHub is giving me a 404. I think if you delete your period, you will be good. Oh, you're saying that when you go to the comment and you try to click on it? Oh man. Yeah, that's interesting. I wonder why it pushes that period as part of the URL. Let's fix that. So we have in here somewhere events, no. Notifications, no. Queue, no. No. Quotes, no. Timers, yes. So let's look at GitHub. Thank you for that tip. I would never have guessed that didn't work. Submit. That's fixed. That one's good. That one's good. That one's good. I don't know why I put a period at the end of that one. Okay, so the rest of them seem to be okay. Thanks for that. Thanks for letting me know that. That was very helpful. All right, so the GitHub now works. That's perfect. G-Alexa wants to know, I don't like that. How does Amazon know I can afford the price? Well, Amazon doesn't know that. That's got to be a you thing. They don't know that you can afford anything, but this is the product that you're being offered. In the same way that when you walk through a store, nobody knows whether or not you can buy the Ferrari or the Ford Escort. So all it can do is offer you the price, and you make your decision about whether or not you want to buy it. Hip hip hooray, you got that one right. That's awesome. So we now can get through the buy the sports category process. Over here, if I come back to my in-skill products, I can set that. We should verify that too. So now if I say give me a sports question, I just bought it. So it should say, here's a question.
This is a fun sports and games question for you.
Okay, so we jump right into the question.
What is the American name for the card game the English call
Reset. Reset, that's great. Okay, so all of that is good. We can now buy categories. Now, I still don't have the luxury of saying buy the cocoa nut category.
Okay.
Oh, I know why. Okay.
Oh, man. That answer is not correct.
So the reason...
The answer was solitaire. What would you like to do now?
Well, there's a different reason that specific instance didn't work. But in our intents, you look at the question intent. It has a slot called wrong. And that slot is a Amazon.search query slot. So we need to do the same thing with this buy. So we need to come in here to buy. We need to add examples that are parallel. So let's show all, and we'll add all of these. We'll start at the bottom and go. So we're going to say buy the wrong category. We're going to say buy wrong. Whoop. We're going to say purchase wrong. And I want to get the wrong category. Unlock wrong. Unlock the category. And the last one was I want the wrong category. Okay. So what that gives us now is wrong needs to be set to search query, save, build. So the thing that was happening before I just added this is that we came into buy category intent. And what I do is I have wrong category, or I was looking for a slot named wrong that had values in it. And then I was also looking for a resolved category. This would be the category that not only was spoken, but then matched one of the category values that I already have. And so I was never, ever getting this. And so because this didn't exist and it wasn't coming through, what was actually happening is there was enough gravity in my interaction model that where we ended up instead was with the answer intent. because the answer intent has an open-ended wrong answer. And this is where it grabs anything that you say that doesn't match something else in my skill and assumes that you're saying something that is the answer to a question, a wrong answer, actually. And we have to do something like this because for trivia questions, there is one right answer and there's an infinite number of wrong answers. And we need to know that you said something. And we need to be able to catch that and maybe even say it back to you like, nope, sorry, that the Mona Lisa is not the answer to that question or whatever. So that is why we do all of that. So now, if I say by the coconut category, it should say that's not a category.
Uh-oh, we don't have a specific category for category underscore name. What should we do next?
Cool, that's a good
You can
find.
say, give me a random question or start today's game.
And that's because here we just need this. And category name is not, is it a thing that exists? Not yet. Oh, this needs to be wrong category. The rest of it's good. Okay, let's try that one more time. Coconut category.
Uh-oh, we don't have a specific category for coconut. What
Nice.
should we do next?
Now, when somebody says, by the taco category, or whatever that word was, taco.
Uh-oh, we don't have a specific category for taco. What should we do next?
Cool. So now you could fill whatever you want in there. And if we don't have a category, I'll tell you. And if we do have a category, like by the nature category, you'll try to sell it to me.
This is the purchase prompt description.
I mean, I need to fix those,
Prime
but
members save
that's what
10
it's doing
cents.
right now.
Without Prime, your price
Can I
is
show
more
you
than
Beauty
just
Bubble?
that.
Let me show you something.
Would you like to buy it?
So I feel like sometimes I feel like I have a lot of Kaiser Soze moments. For those of you who are familiar with that reference, it's from a movie called The Usual Suspects. And I'm not going to spoil the movie because a lot of people haven't seen this movie yet, but you need to see it. But I have this wall in front of me, right? So I have my microphone and my camera. Here, let's do this. I have my microphone and my camera and my monitors and speakers and like all of that stuff is here in front of me. I got lights up above. But then beyond those, I have this gigantic wall-sized bookshelf that has all sorts of interesting books on it and toys and figures and baseballs and stuff, right? I have a Mandalorian helmet. I have well, I guess I can show you guys this too. If I go to Office Cam, you can kind of see it. It's the wall that's ahead of me here, right in front. Pardon the mess. But you can see that I've got a lot of stuff on that wall. And on that wall, I often feel like I have a lot of Kaiser Soze moments. And the best way to explain that is I was looking for a random thing to say, and I came up with Mona Lisa, which is what you called out there, Beauty Bubble. And it was because this was sitting on the shelf in front of me. This, if you guys aren't familiar with this, this was a prize from the movie The Da Vinci Code, which came out in 2006. It's still in the box. Have not taken this out of the box. But this is called a cryptex. This is actually really nice. It's made out of brass. It's really quite well made. And it's a cryptex. So you have to have the specific code to turn the dials on this thing to open it up. And then there's like a sheet of paper inside. So I saw this on the shelf and I was like, I look all the time for like, I need a random word or thing to say. And I was using Mona Lisa as an example. But the reason that I said Mona Lisa was because I saw this sitting on the shelf. Anyway, next time it'll be Mario or C-3PO or Ultron or baseball or something like that. Well, thank you. Thank you. So I don't like to spoil movies though, but if you guys haven't seen The Usual Suspects, make some effort to go see The Usual Suspects because it is a fantastic movie. But anyway, that's the villain in that movie, I guess, is Kaiser Soze. Okay, so we talked about the Da Vinci Code. We talked about that. So Beauty Bubble, thank you so much. I don't know that I'm such a cool person, but I play one on television sometimes. G Alexa says, when the customer buys a category, we don't prompt the amount it cost. No, we do. We tell them that it costs $1 plus tax, and that if they have Prime, they will save 20 cents. So it does not give them the actual final price, I suppose, which is something to discuss. That's something we could certainly have a conversation about. I wonder, let's try this though. I'm going to bring this device up. Let's try talking to this device, because if you have a device with a screen, I believe it does show you on the screen, and it also shows you in the app what the actual price is. So let's try that. Alexa, open Jeff's trivia game.
This is TKO Trivia, a trivia game with 20 different categories
Alexa,
that will knock you out.
By the music category.
This is the purchase prompt description. Prime members save 20 cents. Without Prime, your price is $1 plus tax. Would you like to buy it?
Okay, so right here on the screen, I can say buy for $1. I can actually tap the button that's on the screen.
This is the purchase prompt description. Prime members save 20 cents.
I can also hit no thanks.
Your price is $1 plus tax.
But it says buy $1
Would you
plus
like
tax.
to buy it?
I do have Prime though, so it should ultimately only charge me 80 cents.
You're already a Prime member. To see your benefits, visit the Prime page on Amazon.
Alexa, stop. Okay, so that's what the process looks like on a device with a screen. But on my phone, I think I can probably show this. On my phone, I'm getting notifications in the Alexa app that shows me exactly what this looks like. So let me go in here to activity. And here, let's see if we can get this focused in. This is the card that gets written to my app. So you can see it says offer details, music questions. My icon should be showing there, but it's not. And it says to purchase music questions, you can say yes to the offer when using the skill. By doing so, you authorize us to charge the default card or another card on file $1 plus any tax. And we have one of those for every time that we've tried to buy a category. So this one is the sports and games. Same idea, right? It shows the price, it shows the skill, shows the terms. All of that kind of stuff is shown in the app as well. So you do have a visual opportunity to see this information. Is it possible prices under 99 cents? There's an issue. You cannot publish a product that costs less than 99 cents, Beauty Bubble. And the reason for that, I don't know if this is an officially published reason, but I'll give my personal explanation. This is knowledge I have from when I worked at Microsoft on Windows Phone. When we would offer products for sale in that, the same deal was true. You had the minimum price was 99 cents. The reason for that is because if you think about the credit card processing fees and everything else that goes into running a credit card and charging $1.99, there still has to be some money left over for everyone, right? And so this is also why when you see digital purchases, this is why purchases on the iPhone App Store and everything, they're split 70-30. You keep 70% of the sale price, and the vendor keeps 30%. That 30% was created primarily because of the 99-cent purchase. It costs every bit of that 30% to run the credit card transaction at 99 cents. So if you go lower than that, the vendor, so that's Apple or Microsoft or Amazon or whoever, they would be losing money, or they would have to charge the seller, the developer, more percentage. At which point it becomes a very low value activity for the developer. And so they just limited it to 99 cents. Selling something for a nickel or 10 cents, how much value can that really have, right? Although I know it's nice to think about those really tiny microtransactions. 99 cents is a very minimal amount. When you talk about somebody using a device that requires an internet connection, that's $50 a month. The device itself costs no less than probably $30. There's a lot that goes into that, right? To set it up, you have to have a phone. Like you assume that the buyers of this product probably have $1. And so that 99-cent model, though, that is why you see things split 70-30% on almost every platform, is for that specific reason alone. Okay, so we need to fix the rest of our purchase prompt descriptions and the rest of the metadata for all of our ISPs. But the thing we haven't done yet is the subscription. So the only time that we really offer the subscription is through a buy subscription process. Because if they say, give me a sports question, while I could mention the subscription, they've already headed down the path to buy a different product. And so we need to be able to have a subscription something, some kind of intent or something that tells them and upsells them on the subscription. So we should probably have we'll just call it the subscription intent. Is that what I want to do? Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do no matter what. Okay. So for intents, I need a new intent. We'll just call this the subscription intent. And I'm going to say things like buy the subscription and subscribe. Get the subscription. Tell me about the subscription. Purchase. What else can we put in here? Subscribe and subscription. Get the monthly subscription. Subscribe to TKO Trivia. Let's see how that one works. Okay, good starter kit. Save, build. And while that's building, we can come do the things that need to happen. So first, new intent. This is going to be, we'll just call it subscription intent. That's going to go right after R. No, it's going to go after specific and stop. Okay, this is going to be subscription. And this is going to be subscription intent. Oh, I totally am. Thank you, Ruyans. Can't see the code. Cobra, thank you for letting me know that. Sorry, I wasn't watching the chat either. Subscription intent. So all I'm doing is just creating another handler. So this is the subscription handler, and I have my subscription intent. So we'll take our handler and we'll run all the way down here. Like there seems like a good location. And then if we think about what we're going to do in here, we're going to return a subscription intent. And this is where we're going to upsell every time. Take care, Screech Rat. Thanks for the subscription. Thanks for swinging by. So now what we need to do is actually build out how we're going to communicate this subscription to our user. So in this, we have our collection of handlers. We're going to create a new one. It's going to look a little bit like this, but less so. But I want the upsell. So I think I'm just going to build from scratch. A lot of times I like to use a template I've already built, but this is subscription intent.js, async function subscription intent. It'll look like that. Okay. Add this to our index. Sub tu const subscription intent. And down here, subscription intent. So that's good. And then in here, we need to do some stuff. So we'll need these. And then from the question intent, the piece that we really need is going to be that upsell, except it's going to be much simpler. Is it going to be much simpler? It's going to be kind of simpler. Something I've been meaning to look at is we were looking at this purchasable. I would love to see what the state looks like. We're not really, we are writing out category product. I wonder if I can go back and look. I don't see it in here though. Well, let's restart this and come back to this. I just want to see what that value looks like. So if I say, let's say no here. And then I look at the by category.
Okay, there was a problem with the requested skills response.
Cool. I love when you just quit. That's great. Okay, you're running. So what I wanted to do was look at question intent. And I want to see this category product written out. So I just need to say, give me a, it doesn't matter. In any case, it'll work. So I can say, give me a sports question.
Here is a sport by app.
Gotta start the skill, Jeff. Gotta start the skill.
This is TKO Trivia.
Now my camera froze up.
20 different categories that will knock you out.
Man.
What would you like to do now? You can start today's game.
Just having a bad technology day.
Trivia question.
Okay. So let's give me a sports question and see what the value we get is.
Oops. It looks like you don't own the sports and games category yet.
That's fine.
Would
What
you
I
like
want
to
to see
unlock it?
is what this looks like. It's still purchasable. Well, because sports and games is not one I own. So let's buy it. Yes, I would like to unlock it.
This will unlock all of the sports and games questions in TK.
Yes, I want to buy it.
Please say your 4-digit code to confirm your purchase. Great. Your order is complete and
Now
I've
I've purchased
emailed you a
sports.
receipt. Thanks for your purchase. Your support makes it possible to continue growing our library of questions. I picked a tricky sports and games question
Give me a sports question. Now it should skip right past the purchase.
from the sports and games
Cool.
category.
So let's see what this looks like
What is
now.
the American name for the card game the English call Patience?
And it's not purchasable because they own it. I'm not sure that this is always the right choice, but it does work. I feel like it should be entitled or not entitled, which if we go
Okay.
back a bit.
What is your answer?
This is one I came through before. So it's entitled and not entitled. I really feel like that's the value I should be looking at. We're going to change this. Entitled. It should be if they're not entitled. So this should be not entitled. And then over here, I'm not doing any conditional work. I am doing some conditional work that I missed. If you don't already own it, what happens if they say buy a product? We should try that. Before I add any functionality here, we should try and see what happens. I don't actually know what happens there. So I just went through and bought the sports category. So now I'm going to come back and buy it again. I'm going to say buy. Buy the sports category. Or you already own this. Maybe it does it automatically.
Good news. You already own that. Something is definitely very broken.
Okay.
If only I could fix it myself. Sorry for the inconvenience. I've notified our developers. Let's start over. What would you like to do now?
So it told me that I already own it, which is great. Oh, Cobra Roll 514, thank you for the bits, man. For those of you that don't know, any money from subscriptions or bits like the cheer that Cobra just did, all of that money is put together and we donate that to the STIR Scholarship, which is a scholarship that is there to support women that are entering college in majors of computer science and engineering and stuff like that. So all of the money that you guys donate to this channel will be shared with that charity. Thank you guys so much for the support. Very, very awesome. So I'm not catching the response that comes back. I have a connections.response that is by. So let's look at that. We have in our early index, I'm never going to get to this subscription because I've got too much other stuff that's broken. We have the by success and by fail, by declined. And I feel like I should treat it like a buy success. So if purchase result is accepted or already purchased, handler input.request envelope.request.payload purchase result was already purchased. Oh. Handler input request envelope request payload purchase result. That looks good. So now if we try to do that, I don't know that I need to write any additional code. It should just be like, oh, sorry, you already own that. Okay, so by the sports category. Good news, you already own that.
Good news. You already own that. Thank you. We really appreciate your support. This is a fun sports and games question for you.
Nice.
The properties in the board game, Monopoly, are named after locations in or near what U.S. city?
Okay, so now we don't. I was worried I was going to have to write a bunch of code that says, do they own it? If they don't even try to sell it to them. But I can kind of just default off to this. And it'll say, good news, you already own that. And push it back to my skill, at which point I can thank them again for the fact that they supported us. That's nice. That feels nice and clean. So let's get back to our subscription. So we were working on subscription intent. We have down here somewhere the subscription intent handler. So if it's a subscription intent, then we need to be able to grab that and hand it off to this and then tell them what we want them to buy. So we're going to have to do this because we need the product ID to upsell them, but we're going to be searching for a different thing. So we're going to take this. Mostly the same idea. The first two lines for sure. We have our helper, we're getting our locale, then we're coming into category product, and this is where we're going to filter based on reference name, but we don't have a product yet. So if the category reference name, we can get rid of all of this because we're not doing any matching. We're just going to call this subscription. Like so. So this means we need to go create that product. So down here in our tools, maybe we have in-skill products. Do I have a subscription already? I don't. So we'll just create one. So we're going to create a new in-skill product. This is going to be called subscription, and we'll obviously make it a subscription. That's what we want to use here, and create it. So there's a couple of things that we need to handle here. This is going to be more. It's going to be $4.99 or something like that. Tax category, I never really know, but I'll choose software. Promote it, yes. Billing frequency, I can give them a trial period. We're going to give them a 2-day trial period, which means they can try the subscription for 2 days before it actually charges them. So I think that's a nice, generous move. And then we need to add a new language, which will be NUS for this. So the display name will be TKO Trivia. All categories subscription. This subscription unlocks all 20 categories in TKO Trivia. Great. I think do I have an icon for this? Subscription. I don't know if I actually made one for this. And I could just use this, which is just the logo of the game. This monthly subscription will unlock all 20 categories in TKO Trivia. Cool. Cool. Save. We now have our English version of this product. All of that looks great. Test these testing instructions. Again, before I go through certification, we'll have to actually like enter real data for all this stuff, but for now it's fine. Save. Now I have a product called subscription. So if I look at my in-skill products, it didn't actually link it, so we need to edit this. What's wrong? Save. What is going on? How does one link? I thought it happened right there when it asked me. This says incomplete. Why does it think it's incomplete? Edit. What is incomplete about this? This. Now I can save it and save this. And now I can link it. Cool. So now I have a new product linked to my skill. It's probably the last one. It's called subscription. So you can see we have all these different names of categories, and then we have one called subscription. So this means in our code, we can look at our reference name and find one called subscription. We don't need, well, maybe we will. We got to take this. And I feel like I don't necessarily need to do this so much. I just need to say upsell. I have my product ID, and then I have an upsell message, and this is going to be subscription upsell. Also means we won't need any of this. Okay, so now we just need to create a new speech type called subscription upsell. And export that. Okay, and then that all looks really nice. Then in our database, we actually need to have some values for that. So we'll create a new one called subscription upsell. It needs to have a locale. And this will be something like, oh, Corey, take care, man. Starting a new project today, learning and writing about the Icon programming language. Have fun with Alexa. I will have fun. And I would love for you, are you going to be streaming any of your learnings? I think that would be super interesting to tune into. If you are going to be learning and writing about stuff, do it in public, man. I would definitely tune in for that. Keep it in mind. Subscription upsell. I want to say, hey, Trivia offers a monthly subscription that unlocks all 20 question. Would you like to know more? Oh, I love that, Corey. That's super cool, man. I'm looking forward to it. Make sure you keep us posted here when your schedule's going to be or when that's all going to start. I would definitely tune in for that. Okay. EN US. And we'll do another one. Subscription upsell. If you want to get access to all, I know, Mar1155, I apologize. My camera here, let me see if I can get it back up. It's, I haven't figured out what the problem is yet, but there is something about my rig that once in a while, I'm using a Elgato Camlink device, and every once in a while, it just decides that the camera is going to stop working. So let me see if I can do this. Stop the virtual webcam for a second. It bugs me that this happens. Like, it shouldn't be frozen like that. It should give you all the LEDs. I don't have all these lights behind me for nothing, man. So let's look here. See if that fixed it. It did. Okay. So just rebooting my Camlink device, just unplugging it from USB and plugging it back in, seems to solve it. There we go. And I'm back. I don't know why it happens. It's unclear to me entirely, but well, I thought my camera was back. Mar1155. Didn't I just see the camera working? You see the camera working. You can see me here. I don't know why it's frozen on that. I can't. I guess I can do that. Just if I do this, you're gonna lose. Yeah, you're gonna lose the whole camera. So let's do it anyway. So now you probably can't see anything. Just a gray box. Oh yeah, you wouldn't have been able to see anything. I see. Okay, so we'll fix this really quick. We're on our way. Virtual webcam start. Boom. Back. Look at that. In all the glory. Here I am. No, glory is maybe a little overstating it, but yeah, we're back and we're working. And speaking of lower thirds, let's get rid of those too. Okay, we're good. We're good. Back to this. So thank you guys. Cobra, there's lots of commands, lots of sound effects. If you want to get access to all 20 categories, you want the KO subscription. Would you like to check it out? Good for now. Again, what kind of work am I doing? I am building a trivia game for Alexa. So I'm actually going to demonstrate this here just in a second. But the base idea is that I have a giant database of questions. You can see all of those are here for the most part. We've got a couple hundred of them. Eventually, it'll be thousands. I just have to take the time to enter all of that data. But we have a few hundred questions now. And Alexa basically takes us on a journey through trivia. So we can ask for specific questions like, hey, give me a sports question. And she'll give you a specific sports question. You can also say play a game, and she'll give you a random set of 10 different categories, 10 questions that you could try and play against each day. And then we also offer some purchasing inside this. So if you want a very specific category like sports, you have to pay one time 99 cents to be able to unlock that category. And then you can ask for questions all the time in that category. If you say, give me a random question, though, it'll always let you just have a random question. And then we're working on right now adding a subscription to this skill so that you can one time unlock a monthly subscription, and then all of the categories will be unlocked for you. So that's the piece where we're adding right now, is the ability for the user to buy a subscription. So we just got the speech subscription upsell out of the database. We're now upselling our user, and this should... Do I care that they're not entitled? If I do this every time, we wanted to try this. So I'm going to take this off. Okay, let's save this and say, give me buy. I'll just type word subscription. Subscription. And hopefully that part works.
If you want to get access to all 20 categories, you want the TKO subscription. Would you like to check it out?
Okay, so if you want to get access to all 20 categories, you want the TKO subscription. That is the content we just wrote here in our speech table. If you want to get access to all 20 categories, you want the TKO subscription. Would you like to check it out? So that passed it off to the Alexa service that does the purchasing. And if I say yes...
Trivia, all categories subscription free for 2 days. Then you'll be automatically charged $4.99 a month plus tax. Cancel anytime. Check the Alexa app for terms. Should I start your free trial?
I'm not gonna do this yet. Thank you, Bleedy Bubble. So a couple of good questions here. How is the Alexa simulator updating without a Git commit? Cobra, that's an awesome question. I am using Visual Studio Code, which includes the Alexa Skills Toolkit. And as part of the Alexa Skills Toolkit, it allows us to do, where is it? I thought it was in here. Anyway, it enables local debugging. And so what I'm actually doing, you can see I have that set up right here, is that I'm doing the debugging locally from my machine. So it's telling my interaction model here to communicate with the service that's running locally on my machine, rather than pushing all of my code out to GitHub or anything like that. So Cobra, that is the answer to your question. I'm using local debugging, and I can see every bit of activity that comes through my skill. So we just said back here, this was the intent request for the subscription intent. It came into my skill. I recognize what my product is. We can see that here. We get my product out of the database. This is the TKO Trivia All Category subscription. I can see all of my logging and all that stuff. I don't know that you've been doing extra work for weeks, but this does make it a whole lot easier. You don't have to do all of your deployments every time you want to make a change. Although that is the standard path. This is not always obvious to everybody. So yeah, I'm glad you tuned in. I'm glad you found out about this. But yeah, you can go to, are you using VS Code? Because the Alexa Skills Toolkit is just something you can install. And if you're not using it, there's still a lot of ways that you can use local debugging. You could use a service like ngrok or a number of other services. But the reason that I like this and the fact that it's built into VS Code is that I click one button and my service is running. I don't have to do anything. I don't have to change anything anywhere else. Really, really love this. So yeah, don't need to commit anything. I'm literally running the code that is sitting right here on my machine. I'm glad you found it, Cobra. This is awesome. Very excited for you. Speaking of Cobra, let's see if I can get this. It's a trickier one to reach. I know this isn't the same reference, but I have one of these for everything. Little Cobra Commander for you. So there you go. Cobra. The question is, am I using a hosted Alexa skill or AWS Lambda? I am using AWS Lambda. I don't know if that changes for hosted or not, but I think you should still be able to do it because I can, in here, I can create a new Alexa hosted skill right here, like right from this console. So I would think that you could do that just fine. Anyway, we were selling a subscription. That piece is working. I need to buy it so I can see what happens when they try to buy it a second time. So am I ready to start my free trial? Yes. Okay.
Please say your 4-digit code to confirm the purchase.
Let's make sure this all works.
Great. You're signed up. Thank you. We really appreciate your support. From the sports and games category.
Ooh, that's going to be tricky.
What tennis player won 6 consecutive Wimbledon singles titles in the 1980s?
All right, so now if I say subscription, what does it do?
Whoops. It looks like one of our programmers
Cool.
broke something. I will let them know and have them fix it as soon as possible. In the meantime, would you like to ask for a random question or start a new quiz?
Okay, so you can see here, upsell was blocked due to lack of purchase permission. And the reason that there's no purchase permission is because they already own it. I can't upsell a user on a product they already own. Good rule. I mean, that is a good rule. So now I need to check and say, can I sell this to them? Oh my goodness. In a voice, sorry. So the thing I was showing was this. The upsell was blocked due to a lack of purchase permission. Because I tried to upsell when I shouldn't be. So now my upsell needs to be guarded by this if statement, which is, are they entitled or are they not entitled? So let's go look at that because that will tell me something too. So down here, my product is entitled now because they own it. So I would only upsell them if it's not entitled. Okay, so that means the last step here then is we need an else. We need an else case that is like, you already own this. And that's probably the thing we should use also. Alexa, if we were selling physical products to be shipped, does it have to be listed in the Amazon store website? Do we need an Amazon store account? Alexa, so there's two separate worlds to selling things inside Alexa Skills. The first, which is the one I'm working on, is in-skill purchasing. This is where you're selling digital goods and services, and that's the very important word is digital. Digital goods and services can be sold inside a skill the way that I'm doing it right here. If you are selling physical goods and services, pizza ordering, plumbing services, whatever it might be, those are all done in a slightly separate way using something called Amazon Pay. Amazon Pay obviously charges a significantly smaller amount of money. Instead of 30%, which is what it takes here, you end up paying like 2.9% plus like 15 cents or something. I don't know exactly, but it's something like that. It's like a credit card processing fee, basically. And you go through a completely different kind of framework. So you wouldn't use these same mechanisms that I'm using here, but instead you would use Amazon Pay. And there's an entire set of documentation exactly on how to sell physical products in an Alexa skill using Amazon Pay. But that's not what we're doing here. The stuff that I'm using, the mechanisms, the code, everything that I'm doing here needs to be done with digital goods and services. Okay, so my else case is very simple, but it needs to be like this. So this is my, I don't even need an else case. We'll just do it. Hopefully we never hit it. I don't have an unknown category. What I want is, this is going to be something like already purchased. Don't need any other replace. Okay. Already purchased is not a thing that exists yet, so we need to go into our speech types here. already purchased. Already goes right here. Okay, speech types is good. Already purchased needs some data in the database. It looks like you have already purchased that. Thanks, Frank. It looks like you've already purchased that. I think that's all I need to say. Thanks for your support. We'll do one more. Maybe. It appears that you already made that purchase. Thank you for that. Okay, so that's my already purchased content. So we grab that, we grab an action query, and then all of this just kind of goes. So this is what happens if they try to buy the subscription and they already have it. I would not deny them a subscription. So that's the downside to this purchasing process, CrackMac, is that if they buy a category and then they're like, oh, there's a subscription, I should buy that. I don't have a way to give them that money back or to take any amount off of the subscription or anything like that. So no, they can most certainly buy the subscription anytime that they want. It unlocks all the categories. But if they bought the sports category previously, they would still own the sports category regardless of the status of their subscription. That will never go away. But no, I would not block them from doing so. We're only checking to see that they own the subscription. I'm not checking any of the other individual categories. Okay, so let's try that again. Restart our service. Come over here, subscription. We shouldn't get an error this time.
It appears that you already made that purchase. Thank you for that. What should we do this time?
Okay, so what should we do this time? You already have the subscription. I should also be able to do like, give me a music question, because I already own the category, so it shouldn't try to sell me the category.
You don't currently own the music category, but you can unlock it.
And here is the next step in our journey towards adding the subscription. We are still, our code right now, when we ask a question like this, give me a music question, isn't aware of the subscription at all. So I need to go in there and make sure that I'm giving them a free pass through it. So we have this category product right here. I need to take this and I need to do the same thing. We're going to call it subscription. The reference name here is going to be this. So now I have both of the products. I have the category product and I have the subscription reference. I am not actually setting the categories to entitled. I actually don't have that power, CrackMac. That's another thing that I wish we could do as part of this, is that I can't just designate them as having it entitled without actually like having them complete the purchase process. There's no way to end around there or like give them something for free or anything. I wish there was, but that doesn't exist. So what I'm going to do here is with my subscription, I'm going to say if category product length is greater than 0, and they're not entitled, or, so we're going to add a case to this if statement. Beauty Bubble has a sound effect she wants.
Hey, leave Mona out of this.
Nice. I'm gonna save that. We're gonna make that your sound effect, Beauty Bubbles, for when you come into the skill. That's gonna get said. Okay, so this is our new condition, and then in here we can just say if subscription dot entitled. So now we're going to sell this to them if both the subscription and the category are not entitlements. They don't have either of them. So I think that's done. That's good. So let's try that one more time. Let's say no, and then we'll say give me a music question again.
Okay. You can always ask for a random category, but to choose,
Give me a music question and just give me the music question.
it appears you haven't unlocked the music category yet. Would you like to purchase it?
No, that's not at all what I asked you to do. Am I doing this right? Make sure that I'm thinking about this properly.
Okay. To choose a specific category,
Give me a music question. Let's take a look at what's happening under the covers here.
this is a fun music question
Oh.
for you.
It worked that time.
Here's
Okay.
the song lyric. His palms are sweaty, knees weak, arms are heavy. There's vomit on his sweater already.
Okay, so that did work. We got through the gate without owning the music question. And so if I come back in here and I reset my test purchase for the subscription,
Okay. What is your answer?
and now I say give me a music question, it should say, wah, wah, you got to buy it.
You don't currently own the music category,
Hmm.
but you can unlock it. Would you like to know more?
This is lovely. Okay, there's one more piece that I have to add, and I'm going to have to add it tomorrow. So offer a subscription for all categories. This is done. I love when things work. We're going to close offer subscription for all categories. We're going to allow users to bypass the upsell. That we closed 2 tasks today. And the last thing that we want to do is we're going to add a new issue, which is allow user to cancel their subscription with their voice. We'll submit that as a new issue. This is technically going to be classified as a bug because that's a bug. We can't publish our skill without fixing that. If there are other things that you guys think of as we're getting into this and as we continue to move forward, this list of issues is available here on GitHub. It's public. If you want to add things to it, if you're like, hey, Jeff, I think this would be a cool thing, add it as an enhancement or a recommendation or a feature request, and we'll continue to go. But I'm sure as you guys see this being built, you're like, oh, I wish it did this, or it'd be cool if he added this thing. I'm very open to all of that. I'm not saying I will be able to do everything that you ask, but it would be cool to have your recommendations in there. So feel free to contribute. But it's 11:48. It's late. I gotta get some stuff done. I have a whole presentation I have to write in the next hour, so that I can hand it off to my my PR team and they can review it and make sure everything is squared away and good, so that I can record it later this week. Anyway, that's my email, and this is the end of our stream. So let's go find somebody to raid. Today it's going to be Layla Codes It. She has one of the coolest setups I've seen for streaming. She's got cameras and all sorts of special effects and whatever. So let's bounce in there. People tend to yell blank and raid when you get in there. So, come in, announce yourself, say hey, let her know that we're all here. But she's always working on some cool stuff. So check out what Layla Codes It is working on. That's going to be it for me today. I will see you guys all again tomorrow morning. Really looking forward to it. And then we're going to start working on some APL. We're going to make the visuals for this thing really sing. So I'll see you guys all tomorrow. Take care.